We're so tired. Oh my
Okay. Now
god.
that we did the intro
While we weren't.
when we were in live.
Let's try it again.
Uh so as I was saying, yeah, I feel kind of bad cuz I'm so tired and I think I just proved that. Because this episode seems like there's a lot to talk about and it's mostly because of what shouldn't be there, which is like this whole episode. It's just a big filler episode.
I mean, I literally just. I am tired. So, um, I mean, this episode was pretty.
It was. It was good. I
It
liked it.
wasn't bad filler. It definitely kind of served to fill in the gaps left by the book. Kind of say like conversation happened, this and that outside of the novel. Oh, sorry. With the exception of Rhaenyra visiting Allison at the
Wait,
set.
you didn't like that?
No, I said everything else made sense as far as being like filler. That's that makes sense according to like what the books did. Alicent and Rhaenyra meeting in the Sept doesn't really make sense as far as the book goes because in the book they weren't friends. So,
I got you. Yeah,
like that wouldn't have happened.
everything else was definitely stuff that like could have happened that they
Yeah.
just didn't fit into the book. But
The
yeah,
brothel
that was
scene also like
I felt awkward for him.
the brothel scene was just kind of like I guess you could put it in there to kind of show more of their sibling relationship, but like that doesn't really have any bearing on the like what happens in the book. But like I could see why they put it in there. Tension in their relationship.
And show how messed up Aemond is. Now his brother knows.
Dude's got issues.
I also so I'm trying to think like what happened first so we can kind of start from the beginning and work our way through. Hey Waldo.
Oh, hello.
Okay, so the first thing that comes to mind though is I love the scene with Lord Foot and Aegon. First off, just Aegon. Was Aegon the Conqueror like really small? Because I was when he said Aegon's armor, like I thought that kind of fits him too well. I thought they were gonna do something where it was kind of like all over the place, and he didn't quite fit it.
I thought it looked like he was a little small for it.
I feel like it fit pretty well.
I felt like the chest plate part fit, but everything else I felt like looked too big.
Maybe a little bit. I don't know. I guess it wasn't comical enough. I felt like there was a lot of those like almost funny moments in this episode. Like you had Damon going to Harrenhal, and you have this tense scene where he's just sneaking through the castle, and then he punches some poor guard to like death, and then he walks in. And they're like, "Oh, good, we've been waiting for you. Yes, I'll bend the knee. Come have dinner."
Right. I got deer.
Then
Got a lot of good deer.
Yeah.
Munch.
Then they had the Aegon thing, and then they had the Aemon thing, which I guess you could find funny. I found it more awkward than funny.
It was awkward.
Like it was one of those scenes that was so awkward it kind of hurt me. And
Secondhand embarrassment a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
And then you had with Rhaenyra and Alicent, you had them meet, and she takes out the knife and she's like, "I need to talk to you," and everything. She's like, "Oh, I started this badly."
Yeah.
Like, what? I don't know. I mean, I like that sort of stuff in there. It just seemed like it was happening with everyone. Like Damon, you kind of expect it. Like
that's just how he
witty
is.
Yeah. But then it was just happening all over the place.
With Rhaenyra, I felt like it was just like she hasn't seen Alicent in person in so long, so it was just kind of like uh oh, I'm sorry, my bad. I'm trying to be normal, but I'm not normal, and I'm sorry. I'm just um. Oh my god. I'm
Yeah, she's
sorry.
very tired.
Oh. Yeah, I'm sorry. Trying not to. I'm very sorry. Um, I do think the conversation between Alicent is significant. Um,
100%, because it was, you could see Alicent kind of realized she had made a terrible mistake, but she wasn't about to admit that to Rhaenyra.
because things are so far gone now, she like can't take it back now.
Exactly.
And she knows, like in that moment, she knows, like, oh, I goofed.
Oops.
But like
Sorry.
the ball is rolling so quickly and so far that she can't take it back now. So she has to just bury her head further in the sand and just like, nope.
Yep.
So now going forward, Rhaenyra is not going to have a choice but to be like, okay, well, and now Rhaenyra like really knows the truth that she was named the. And I don't know how she's going to feel about what Alicent said, if she's going to now take it upon herself to think like, oh, Alicent like knew and betrayed her and came up with her own idea, or if she's going to think what is seeming to be what the showrunners are going with, that Alicent made a mistake. Either way, Rhaenyra leaves knowing like we got to go to war now. It's just happening.
I think, without saying anything that will happen in the future to try to avoid spoilers, I think they're just putting it in to kind of give you the back and forth. I think they want that competition in the fandom, you know?
The blacks
green,
versus
yeah.
greens thing. Well, when you read the book, I feel like you start out very like one side or the other when you read the book, and then as the book progresses, you can find yourself kind of sticking with one side or the other based on what happens.
I also, so again, trying my best not to spoil anything, but for things that happen later, I also think they're trying to make you like Rhaenyra a little bit more than Alice. Even though I don't think we're going to get to that point in this season, because I think the fact that this was kind of a filler episode has solidified the fact that we will get a season 3 and that they're going to
100%.
extend this.
I was fully expecting, like with this episode, I was fully expecting things to go down at Harrenhal. And the fact that it didn't, I was like, okay. We're not doing Harrenhal. And then I thought maybe we were going to do like Rook's Rest and that march and that battle.
It seems like,
especially
that
with
is
like all
what,
the focus on Rainey's, I thought we were going to get Rook's Rest and what happens there. And we didn't get that either. So it was just like, okay, we going for some filler. Because immediately after the twins is Rainey's and Rook's Rest and all that. So that didn't happen. So maybe next episode?
I mean, in the preview for the next one, it's showing some battles, so I'm going to assume that that's probably what we're going to get in the next one.
And Harrenhal kind of feels like it's being drawn. But everything that happens with Daemon and Harrenhal kind of feels like off page a little bit in the book. Like,
I was going to say, like, in the book, there's not a lot of Daemon, and let's face it, you love him as a character. He's great. I love to see him.
Yeah.
So,
great character.
If we drag that part out, I'm completely fine with it to get some more screen time with him.
I also thought it was very interesting and kind of cool that they had him have that dream, which was like very like
disturbing.
Yeah, but it was also like very meaningful. He had that dream, and then after he has like the dream, the vision or whatever, he's standing under the weirwood tree.
Mm-hmm.
That like
And then the
that would make
lady
sense.
just, you're gonna die in this place.
Right? Who's that? She's just like, yo, you gonna die here. And then she just runs away. Who says that to a person
Because she's
and then
not
just
just
runs
a
away?
she's not just a random person, because we saw her when like eating at the table.
Yeah,
Not
she
eating
was
at the table, but she was in the room.
right. She was in the room, and I thought, what if that's Nettles?
That might be.
I I don't know. It was just a thought that maybe that's Nettles. I don't know, because we also got introduced to Ulf.
Yeah.
Ulf, what a arrogant braggadocio kind of dude.
What timing? It's bragging. Yeah, I'm part Targaryen.
I'm part
Oh, hey,
Targaryen. I love
here's-
Rhaenyra, Daemon, blah blah blah. Oh, the king's here. Oh.
Don't say anything, guys. Please, please.
Right. And shout out to that dude from Our Flag Means Death.
Oh yeah.
That dude was in the episode for like 2 seconds. He
No
didn't even say
lines.
anything. He was just like,
Just an extra.
great. Love that. Good night, Waldo's World.
Good night, my friend.
Kristen
we talked
Cole
about
also. Kristen Cole.
I don't even like to like. Oh man,
I hate talking about Kristen Cole, but God, what a dickhead.
Let's talk about the actor though, because like the same thing with like Joffrey. Like, I really hate him.
The
Well, the
actor is
actor's doing a
brilliant.
great
Yeah,
job.
the actor is really good. I looked his name up earlier and I can't remember what it is, but yeah, he's playing the role well.
Even though like his relationship with Allison is just so cringe.
I sensed a little strain relationship in this episode
Mm-hmm.
where he's like, war, 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 fight, 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 blood, blood, blood. And she's like, how about we don't? And she's like giving him that face, and he's like, don't care.
He's just like,
I'm hand of the king now. I can do what I want.
Of course you would say that. You're a woman.
Yeah. And she's like, I feel like in those moments, she's kind of realized what monster she's created in him.
Mm-hmm.
And she's just kind of like, ooh, what have I been doing? Ooh.
And then when he wanted the favor and everything, just seemed like one of those moments where just giving him the look like, oh, no, you're my boy toy, nothing more.
But then when he took it, he like didn't seem to really care about it. He got it and he was like, all right, let's go.
Right? And that's kind of why I hate it, because like I don't know what's going on with it, because it seems like they're just messing with each other. Or he's messing with her more, I guess.
I think that's the point, is like the whole relationship is toxic and messy.
Mm-hmm.
And is going to like mess with the situation. How about Aegon also appointing his boys to the Kingsguard?
Oh my god. Yeah, that's just what would happen if a frat house ran a kingdom.
Right.
Like that's what it is.
And then they like I did think it was funny when the were like talking about this, that, and the other thing. And then Aegon was like, no. You swore an oath of celibacy to protect your king, right? And they were like, yeah. And he's like, no. You did, right? And they were like, oh, wait a minute. Now he wants to be the king? Now he's being serious? What have I got myself into?
Right, because like the last episode, they were just drinking in the throne room, laughing, having a good time.
Right, just hanging out, being boys.
Like, no.
Nah,
You got the cloak on now.
it's for reals. Don't let Kristen Cole see any stains on that cloak, guys.
Speaking of throne, I love the Daemon.
I know.
We're going to take the throne. The throne? Yes, it's a big chair made of swords.
He was in the episode for 5 minutes and he stole like the whole show. Great.
Right?
It was great.
We need more of him in every episode.
Also, that whole thing with Bela on her dragon, Moon Dancer. Not in the book.
Oh yeah.
Not
We
in the book at all. They're definitely giving her a more active role in the show. In the book, she
Yeah.
kind of just chills at Dragonstone for a hot minute and really doesn't.
Well, she's still chilling at Dragonstone. She's just scouting. So it's still following the book technically.
Yeah, I
They're
guess so.
just giving you some more perspectives that the book didn't.
Yeah, that's true. They're just kind of using code num that, hey, Kristen Cole is on his way over here and doing this and whatever.
And he has some stains in his pants right now.
I bet he does. He better wash them. Make sure they're nice and white and clean.
Good comeback there.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm too
Better wash them.
I'm so tired. What do we think of Moondancer as a dragon?
Pretty cool. I don't know. He's not my favorite dragon.
All right.
I don't know. Yeah.
All right. I like
Got
the
a
colors.
weird, like, stubby nose. Kind of looks like a Carnotaurus head.
I thought the coloring was like, oh, he's cool. He looks like marble. And then I saw his face and I was like, okay. That's a choice.
That was the other thing I did want to talk about because we brought it up, and it was about sea smoke.
Yeah.
And like how they were going to do that. And they're they're planting the seeds of that because sea smoke is freaking out.
And they were like, sea smoke is reckless. We haven't seen him act like that lately. Cause
maybe he's lonely.
Yeah. Maybe his partner is dead.
Or just too far away. I don't know if there's like a distance.
Either way, I
Is he
think
out
it's
of range?
It's a clever way for the writers to kind of go from what they did with Lenore and kind of bring Sea Smoke back in without having to like retcon what they did and whatever. Although I'm not gonna lie, Corlys in this season so far just
He hasn't really been there. Like
hasn't
all
really-
he's
yeah, he
all
hasn't
he's
really
done
done
is
much.
like we saw him in 3 scenes. One where he talks to Alan, right? Or Adam?
Alan
And then 2 where he talks to Rhaenys.
which I think is significant for what is going to happen. Like really playing up his relationship with but like I don't know. I feel like they just are portraying him as being such a goody two shoes. He's not such a goody two shoes. I don't know.
Oh, I mean, we'll see where they go with this. Like the whole thing with him, I don't know. Like they're definitely changing the story. They're not changing it, but they're definitely
Tweaking it.
a little bit, adding some stuff.
Mhm.
But I like it all. Like
Oh no, I'm not.
very
I'm not
interested. I'm good with
complaining
it.
about any of it. I think it's actually pretty good. I think it's very enjoyable. Like the added stuff, like I said, the added stuff isn't canon, but like it fits the characters and it fits kind of what's going on. So like it works to kind of add padding to the story because I feel like it's kind of filling in some of the gaps that the book didn't include, but it's doing so in a way that makes sense and is plausible.
Yeah. Now I do want to ask, like Damon's dream. Do you think that's kind of a hint at like the children of the forest, 3-eyed crow, 3-eyed raven? I mean,
That
like he ends up next to the weirwood.
that was
I think there was some weird stuff going on.
That
No
wasn't
pun intended.
what I was thinking about when I saw the dream. Actually, when I watched the dream, I was like, oh. But I feel like if
'Cause
I talk
Mark-
about it, it's going to be like spoilery stuff. So I don't like want to talk about it.
I wasn't gonna go too far into the dream. Just I don't know where it came from because he must have sleptwalk out there,
I mean, I definitely think it. Yeah, it kind of relates to the
or was
three-eyed
he
crow.
hallucinating? Was it not a dream?
right? Did he have a vision or something?
Yeah.
It definitely smacks of Three-Eyed Crow, Bran. The voices inside the weirwood, are they like a hive mind thing?
I mean, we kind of know that from the show that they are.
Well, even from the books.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely, I think, purposeful that he like woke up under the weirwood tree, and then later, Rhaenyra mentions the Song of Ice and Fire. It's kind of cheesy, but
It's kind of cheesy. I honestly, I don't hate how they kind of shoehorn the whole A Song of Ice and Fire in there.
it could have been a lot worse.
It could have been.
I feel like if you've read the books, then it's kind of like a what? But at the same time, like it works well enough that I'm sorry. I can't speak. Works well enough that it is plausible within the fabric of the story and helps kind of to tie the story to the later. Even though I pretend that the everything after season 4 didn't happen.
Yeah.
And ties it to the original story. All the Song of Ice and Fire. I don't. It also just kind of further sets the conflict. Where Rhaenyra now knows, at least thinks she knows. My father did name me heir. I was right, so I'm gonna push. Whereas Alicent is like, I was wrong, but I can't turn back, so I have to just kind of like stick with it. So now, like the lines are drawn in the sand. No more negotiation. It's on.
Thank goodness we can finally get into some of the action.
I know.
Because that's the big part I was excited about with this season is more of the action. And now we're 3 episodes in. I'm like, come on, give it to me.
So what do you think's going to happen next? Do you think we're going to hit Harrenhal, or do you think we're going to do Rook's Rest?
Roots Rest?
Rook's Rest.
Rook's Rest. I think we're doing. That's what I think we're going to do first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're going to hit there before Harren. I mean, I guess it makes, even though that's not what happens chronologically.
Because doesn't Kristen Cole hit Rook's Rest first?
Yeah, but Daemon takes Harrenhal first.
But he just took Harrenhal.
Did he, though? I felt like, did he take Harrenhal?
Yeah. They bent the knee.
Yeah, I guess.
It's his.
Yeah, I suppose. I don't know. I felt like it. I guess they could have made it clearer. I mean, that was kind of what I felt about it, but I was like, oh, okay.
They couldn't have made it clearer. He was like, oh, okay then, and walked in front of the table and then just knelt down and was like, hey, all right, take it. It's gonna cost me a fortune to repair it. Please, just take it off my hands.
Yeah, I suppose. Oh.
Maybe he has suffered the curse for so long, he's just like, please, I can't do this anymore.
Just get it away from me. I also like that we're continuing on with Blackwood versus Bracken.
Yeah.
Stupidity.
Yeah, that was just kind of like out of nowhere, too.
It's a great intro to the episode. But like that happens in the book. That's like part of what starts the conflict. Them being stupid, like usual. Because one house declares for Rhaenyra and one house declares for Aegon, and then they're just like, oh, you're a Bracken, oh, you're a Blackwood, you're an
You move my rocks.
Yeah, and then they're just like, Brr! And then they fight each other. And then the blacks and the greens have to like deal with it because these didn't get it together.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
So the Brackens and the Blackwoods, they're the real problem.
Oh, what else did you point out? You pointed out that I love that the intro is like a live intro. like it's evolving as the story goes.
I know this episode it was a little bit different. There was more added to it. So I have to like get on my whole like deconstruction of the intro cuz we saw those new bits tonight and I was like, "Oh,
Right?
what is this?" Cuz I figured out pretty much everything else. So,
And that that was easy because we saw that happen. It was the Aegon hanging everyone in the previous episode, but yeah. If you skip the intro, don't do it.
oh my god, how about that little like
It
just
changes.
tiny scene of the rat catcher guy with the like raven like eyeball.
Yeah. Poor guy. I feel like more time passed, but then again, like the whole thing with Damon probably happened like simultaneous.
Yeah. I think Damon also has been like doing a lot off screen so that by the time we see, oh, he's already here. Blah, blah, blah.
Oh, fair enough.
Takes a while to get to Harrenhal. Takes a while to get from one place to another in Westeros. You know.
Yeah, but he is a dragon.
It still takes a while, I would assume.
I feel like that'd be a day.
I mean, maybe. I don't know. Shout out to Caraxes the long boy.
I know, you missed the one scene.
I know, the one scene he was
You
in.
stepped out of the room.
Well,
One
I
scene.
know, I had to go do something. Can we also just say episode would have been better if Otto Hightower was in it?
I don't think we're gonna see Otto like again this season.
Don't say that to me.
Because we will see him again, right? Because at some point he re-enters.
Why
the
do I
story.
have to look at Kristen Cole's
But-
face every episode and I can't see Otto Hightower? That's not right. There's something wrong with the universe.
I'd just be happy with more like Damon action scenes.
I would also be happy with more Damon, but I'm just saying.
Do you think Matt Smith has like some sort of issue where he can't perform fight scenes?
No.
Like, do you think he has like a bad back or something? Because one of the things that I just kind of thought of, and maybe it'll change this season, but like we really don't get to see a lot of scenes where Damon fights.
Didn't we see him fight the crab eater?
No. We saw Damon just like run through a bunch of arrows and then disappear in a
that's
cave,
right.
and then he just walked out with half of them.
Well, isn't a person more badass, but like leave it to your imagination type of thing?
No. I want to see some of that.
Maybe.
I mean, there have been like a couple, like anything that we see with Damon is usually just like a one shot scene, you know, where you like cut the dude's head off, or
maybe Matt Smith is really clumsy.
that's what I'm genuinely curious if there's something in his contract where it's like
He like doesn't do
Yeah.
action scenes or something.
and they don't want to use a double, so they just kind of give you just enough to show that he's a badass without doing a lot of filming of the action.
I don't know.
Maybe I don't know.
He's never been like an action star kind of guy. He's always been a drama guy. So like, yeah, maybe he just like can't do it. I really don't know. It's something like I feel like I'd have to look up and be like, is there a reason why we don't get to see Damon physically kick butt?
I don't know. Just a thought I had.
No, that's a
Thinking
good
about how,
question. I
like,
don't know.
I love Damon because he's usually appearing in like either a scene where he's being super witty and funny or an action scene, but we just never see him fight.
No, we don't. We always see him like on the back of the dragon or like after the fight, all bloody and stuff. Like, yeah, we don't ever.
I'd be
like-
okay with a dragon fight right now, though.
I think we're gonna get one. Brooks Rest. Don't worry, we'll get something.
I know it makes sense.
It's gonna be devastating. I'm gonna be
I think-
upset.
It'll be a rough one, but honestly, with Martin, I'm used to being hurt. So
It's not the people. Honestly, the whole Dance of the Dragons thing, when I read the book, like the worst part wasn't the people, it was like all the stuff with the dragons just made me really upset. I was like, no, no. Every time it was something with a dragon, I was
okay.
like, no,
There,
no.
there was one other thing that I wanted to talk about, and I couldn't remember, but you just reminded me. Do you think three
No.
of those eggs
Oh,
were the
oh.
eggs?
So yeah, 3 of those eggs definitely look like the eggs.
Right?
Like,
Going to Essos.
yeah.
Could it be that they found their way there?
Are they the eggs?
Daenerys' eggs?
It definitely seems like they set it up for them to be Dany's eggs.
Right? Giving you a little shot of the eggs going to Essos.
One was definitely green. One was definitely like that
Golden color.
golden cream color.
Yeah, I think in the show it's like gold, but in the book it's supposed to be like a cream.
Cream or white, kind of. Yeah.
Because I think they definitely don't. I can't remember what it is in the show, but it's definitely not white. But there is one that's supposed to be white, then Drogon's black, and then green.
Yeah. And then the egg, is the egg like red and black in the book? Just black.
I
I
think
want to say it's like red and black.
it was black, and then it like reflected
like
red
light or
like
something.
an iridescent
That's
like
what
red reflection. It was described as.
Yeah. And those eggs definitely kind of looked like it.
Yeah.
And then a random blue one.
3 out of 4 isn't bad.
3 out of 4.
Maybe
ain't bad, I
there's
guess.
just one still out there that, if we ever get an Arya spinoff, she'll find and
Or, a
Forever.
6th book.
yeah. But yeah, I like that. I think they were definitely setting up that.
That was the vibe I got, especially when they like opened it up like in the chest and they were all sitting there like that. It very much was reminiscent of the first season of Game of Thrones when she like looks at the eggs, whatever. It was very much like, them's
Right,
Dany's
like
eggs.
we're Danny's eggs, Rhaenyra's eggs.
Right.
That's what I'm thinking. That's my theory.
I think that's a pretty solid theory. I think it's a pretty good one, especially since they've incorporated like random stuff from A Song of Ice and Fire into or whatever.
Song of Ice and Fire is just the series now because they have that dagger. So from the beginning of the conquest forward is just
it's all A Song of Ice and Fire.
It's all A Song of Ice and Fire. That's how they get you. I think that was it for the Easter eggs that I noticed in the first watch.
I feel like first watch. I watched it and I liked it, and then after the episode was over, I was like, "Oh my god, I need to go to bed. What do I think about this? Oh my goodness. That I'm tired, and I wish there were more dragons in it. And where's Otto Hightower? And Damon was only in it for 5 seconds, and
I mean, I feel like on that note, we basically covered everything.
I do feel like there was like a lot more that we could definitely discuss, but I feel like we're both just too exhausted to think of it right now. I mean, other than like Ulf being introduced, that was like the big canon thing to me. The final like cutting action between Alicent and Rhaenyra, like it's now cut completely.
Mm-hmm.
It's over. The rising tension between Aegon and Daemon taking Harrenhal. Lord Foot just like being himself, I guess. Kristen Cole being an a-hole every 2 seconds because he's an a-hole.
Props to Lord Foot though.
Lord Foot is good at his job, right?
He's really good.
Lord Foot be like,
So yeah, some people were talking.
Yeah, some people were saying this thing and just saying,
Your
Aegon.
mom wants to get you out of here so her and Aemon can, take over the duties.
Yeah. Lord Foot's good at his job. He's like Varys and Littlefinger put together.
Yeah.
Lord Foot's a great character too. It's just the Foot thing.
We haven't had a lot of him doing like creepy stuff, so I'm okay with him now.
Oh yeah, you're
Yeah,
kind
he
of on
doesn't
his
really
side a
weird
little
me
bit.
out. I'm just kind of like, hey, he's a great character.
He is a great character. If they do Foot stuff in the next episode, though, I might be upset about it because I don't want to think about that. I just want to see him be like clever and manipulative. I don't want to see him like at the brothel while Aemond is curled up like a baby in the like prostitute's arms or whatever she is, brothel worker, whatever. And then like him like sniffing her feet or something. Like I don't need that.
Now that he's the master of whispers and everything, maybe he shouldn't be Lord Foot. We'll just call him Little Toe.
Little toe, a little finger.
Yeah.
Little toe is weird. I don't know if I like that. That makes
Little
me.
Finger is weird
Little
too.
finger is weird, but little toe is just like I don't know. My cats have little toes.
Look, he reminds me of Peter Baelish. He has a foot fetish, Lil Toe.
Oh God. Okay, fine. Either way, brilliant move on his part.
Stupendous.
What a guy. What a guy.
That was a double whammy too.
Who won?
Kept the king there, and he got promoted.
Who won the episode?
Oh man, that's a tough one. I want to say Damon just because the interaction with him and
That Lord.
yeah, I want to say Aaron the Black, but that's not him.
They did mention it though, which I thought
They
was
did.
kind of cool. They mentioned Conqueror burning Harrenhal and all that. I thought those were touches.
Harrenhal looks absolutely miserable to live in.
Harrenhal looks like a
nothing.
terrible place to live. And you know what's funny is when we were watching the episode and like watching those scenes and they're talking about like Harrenhal and the upkeep and stuff, like all I could think of are the Arya chapters in the books where she talks about like going all through Harrenhal and like her descriptions of what it's like and like where like Tywin is living at the time and like all that stuff. And I'm just like, oh my God, Arya, I'm so sorry you had to live here. This looks terrible.
I do.
I wouldn't want to live here when it rains. Ooh.
I remember them talking about, or maybe it was just Arya talking about the old Nan stories of that giants built the castle. It was originally a giant's castle. That's why it was so big.
Mm-hmm.
And I liked the scale that they gave because you kind of got that feeling
That
as
is
Damon was walking through there.
yeah, that's the thing that I like that this show has done is they've kind of paid more attention to like the book descriptions of things that Game of Thrones didn't do. Like you get the sense of scale of Harrenhal and like how big it is and how broken it is and how like creepy it is. You get like all that.
And I love the silhouette because the book describes the towers as looking like melted candles.
Yeah,
and they
like the big
absolutely
melted.
did look like
Yeah,
that.
100%. And then like the heraldry and the style of the helmets, all that stuff that he puts in, everything's brightly colored, and even stuff like Kristen Cole and Hightower, what's his face, like on their horses with all the horse armor and the colors and everything else. I'm like, this is really what it's supposed to be.
Mm.
Harrenhal just looks great, but like even the Red Keep, like the Red Keep looks freaking way better than it did in Game of Thrones.
You don't really see a lot of the Red Keep though. They have like that courtyard.
I mean, like the aerial shots sometimes. Even like when they talk about like the passageways and this and that and how big, how impregnable it is, but it's not, and all that stuff. I feel like they're paying a lot more attention to Martin's descriptions they portray it on the screen.
Yeah, 100%.
Except for Dragonstone. Apparently, they didn't want to do the big giant dragon statue on the outside.
Maybe those come afterwards.
I think maybe it's a continuity thing because of what
No,
Dragonstone.
Yeah, I think so because that was a joke. I'm pretty sure the dragon statues were there before the Conqueror even captured Westeros, because originally Aegon the Conqueror
Lived at Dragonstone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. The Targaryens that left Valyria set all that up. And anyway, either way, Harrenhal looked great. It had that like good creepy vibe.
Yeah.
You can tell Daemon is like, took Harrenhal, but I don't like it. Don't want to be
Right.
uncomfortable.
Which actually makes me think, is that lady even like there?
Or is it all in his
some
head?
sort of like specter, you know?
Oh. I suppose it depends on whether or not
'Cause
you
no
believe
one else-
Harrenhal is really haunted.
No one else acknowledged her.
That's true. He's the only one that is
He's-
like seeing her.
Yeah. Maybe that's the point of having her there. She's like a ghost.
Figment of it.
Yeah.
Maybe. Like one of the people.
I mean, she did look like Wednesday Addams, super
She
goth.
did.
So
She did. It'll be interesting to see what happens next with him and Harrenhal. And I want to say that, like, listen, if you read the book, but book aside, it'd be kind of cool to get a little more at Harrenhal just because what it is.
I mean, we do get a little bit more at Harrenhal, don't we?
Well, I mean, yes, but
Not in the book, but there's some other stuff that goes down that the show could then place.
Yeah.
Like we said, like technically everything that happened in this episode wasn't necessarily something that happened in the book. It was just kind of referred to.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Like, you know, Daemon went and captured Harrenhal. We don't know how it went down. He just did that.
Yeah, because it's like Daemon went and did the thing. Well, they're going to now show you how Daemon went.
And apparently it was very easy.
Yeah. There's a twist in next week's episode.
Dun dun.
Or no.
I hope not. I liked how it went.
I don't know if I really have anything else like right now as far as like first thoughts go. Maybe if I sleep and I wake up, I'll have like 1,000 more thoughts and I'll be like, hey, actually, this.
Maybe. I mean, I definitely had some thoughts. I got most of them out, so.
I think I'm pretty set.
All right.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. I know it's kind of a short episode. We apologize that we were tired. We wanted to give our thoughts on this later.
That was about 45 minutes. That was about average.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Sure. Oh my gosh.
Getting around. All right. Have a good night, everyone.
Have a good night, everybody.
See you next week.